Hello everyone. Did you know? Green tea is not just a refreshing beverage. It's a multi-billion-dollar global industry, driving economies and providing livelihoods for millions of people worldwide. The green tea market alone is estimated to exceed $20 billion annually and is expected to grow significantly in the coming years, thanks to increasing consumer awareness of its health benefits. Major producers such as China, Japan, India, and Sri Lanka dominate the global market, exporting hundreds of tons of green tea to meet the demand in regions like North America, Europe, and the Middle East. Beyond exports, the industry supports local economies by creating jobs, from farmers and factory workers to packaging and distribution networks. In China, green tea production accounts for a significant share of the nation's tea industry. In Japan, the green tea sector, though smaller, contributes greatly to the country's cultural exports, with products like Matcha gaining international recognition. Meanwhile, in countries like India and Sri Lanka, tea plantations provide employment for many rural communities, many of whom rely on the industry for their livelihoods. The growing popularity of premium and organic green teas has also opened opportunities for small-scale producers to serve niche markets. We are at a green tea plantation in Shizuoka Prefecture, Japan. In this video, we'll explore the journey from farm to factory, where green tea is harvested and processed, and the grading process that determines both quality and price, offering a fascinating look at this industry. We'll also discover how matcha is made, how it differs from green tea, and how it's used in Japan's finest cuisine. Tea plants can be propagated either by seed or cutting. Once planted, it takes 4 to 5 years before the tea plant can be harvested, and even then, the yield is minimal. Tea prefers well-drained, aerated soil with good water retention. The soil should be slightly acidic, with a pH of about 4 or 5. It must also be rich in key nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which are essential for healthy tea growth. The higher the nutrient concentration, the richer the flavor. That's why proper fertilization is so important in matcha cultivation. If the soil has high mineral content, like in mountainous regions, this can be tasted in the tea's flavor. When mature, the plant spreads out to about 5 feet in diameter and is pruned into neat rows. These tidy rows are characteristic of Japanese tea fields, almost resembling a single giant tea bush. If you look closely at the base, you'll see that each tea plant has its own trunk, but the foliage at the top blends together seamlessly. Although tea plants can live for hundreds or even thousands of years, younger plants are preferred in Japan. These younger tea plants are believed to have stronger vitality, higher yield, and easier harvestability. In China, older tea plants are considered to produce richer and more complex teas. For matcha, tea plants between 8 and 25 years old are considered optimal. After 25 years, yields begin to decline, and on some farms, plants are replaced and the land is replanted. Rainfall. Tea thrives on consistent rainfall, averaging around 1,300 mm annually. It needs enough moisture to produce lush, aromatic leaves, but not so much that it dilutes the flavor. From above, the green tea plantations of Shizuoka are stunning, perched on hillsides. The tea plants grow on a slope, absorbing morning mist and afternoon sun. Harvesting tea leaves can take place up to 4 times a year. After the first flush in early spring, a second harvest typically follows in June or July. This second flush tea has the second best quality in terms of flavor and nutrition, and is often used for more affordable tea products. Farmers may also blend first and second flush leaves to lower the price while maintaining strong flavor. Summer temperatures in many parts of Japan are quite high, making summer harvesting particularly strenuous. A third flush may occur in late summer, especially in southern Japan, but the quality is usually much lower, with fewer nutrients. Tea plants need time to absorb nutrients from the soil, and short intervals between harvests don't allow enough time for this process, resulting in weaker flavor. By mid-October or November, some tea plants are harvested for the fourth and final time of the year. This is called akibancha, or the autumn flush. Some farmers sell this tea, while others recycle it as fertilizer, returning nutrients back to the soil. When autumn arrives, fertilizing tea plants becomes especially important. The soil must be prepared for the long winter ahead, so that the plants can rest and absorb nutrients before the spring flush. After the winter, new buds start to grow, and these tender spring leaves are the richest in flavor and command the highest prices. Harvesting on slopes is challenging, but modern trimmers make the process quick. Each bag holds around 10 kilos of leaves. A 2-person team can harvest 1,500 kilos per day, and this farm produces 22,000 kilos of green tea annually. The most common method for harvesting tea in Japan is with handheld mechanical harvesters. This is the most efficient way to harvest tea, and one of the reasons the plants are arranged in neat rows. These machines trim the plants like a hedge, shaping them over time into a tidy form. The harvester is operated by 2 people, each holding one side, walking along the row to trim the top leaves. The trimmed leaves are caught in a net and collected afterward. At the end of each row, the leaf bags are swapped out, and the team circles back to continue. The tea bushes are waist-high and slightly arched to facilitate harvesting. The bags are then loaded onto a monorail and transported to trucks. All tea must be processed the same day to ensure consistent flavor. Harvest date is a crucial factor in grading. Mechanical harvesters have revolutionized tea harvesting. Larger machines can be driven between rows to trim and collect leaves automatically. Their advantage is speed. They simply glide over the tops of the bushes, cutting and collecting leaves into nets. Once loaded into trucks, the tea bags are taken to processing plants at the base of the hills. Farmers collaborate with cooperatives to process their tea. Location affects flavor, and freshly picked leaves are poured into bins to begin the process. This factory works with 40 member farms, producing 160 to 180 tons of green tea annually. Freshly picked leaves begin to ferment immediately, retaining heat and moisture from the sun. They're transferred into large bins where cool, moist air circulates to maintain freshness. Speed matters. Same-day processing is vital to flavor consistency. First, the leaves are passed through a rotating drum with filters to remove debris. Then, they are steamed. While Chinese green tea is often pan-fired, Japanese green tea is steamed in vats. This enhances the bright green color and produces the signature vegetal taste of Japanese tea. Steaming deactivates oxidation enzymes in the leaves, locking in flavor, preserving vivid green color, and eliminating bitterness. The flavor and aroma depend on steam duration, which ranges from 30 to 120 seconds depending on the desired tea style. Asamushi sencha is lightly steamed for 20 to 30 seconds, giving a strong aroma but pale color and grassy taste. Fukamushi sencha is deeply steamed for 120 seconds, resulting in darker, stronger tea but a weaker aroma. Chumushi sencha lies in the middle, steamed for about 60 seconds. After steaming, the leaves are still hot and need to be quickly cooled to retain flavor, color, and aroma. The primary kneading process, called soju, uses warm, dry air to reduce moisture to 30 to 40% and soften the leaves. Then comes junin kneading, which breaks down leaf cells and removes moisture from stems and leaves for uniformity. Next is chuju kneading, which further reduces moisture and loosens the leaves for the final shaping, kneading seiju, that forms the characteristic needle shape of Japanese tea. Moisture is further reduced here, giving the leaves their distinct appearance. After 4 kneading stages, the tea is dried at 95 watt degrees to bring moisture down to about 5%. Then, it's sorted to separate stems and leaves and blended into the desired product. At this stage, you could already brew a perfect cup of tea straight from the production line with a bold green hue. Next comes the tea grading process. Workers measure 3 grams of tea using 1 yen coins, each coin weighing exactly 1 gram. Tea is tasted using near boiling water at 98 degrees Celsius. First, the aroma of the dry tea is assessed against reference teas. Then, a spoonful of tea is tasted to evaluate quality. Grading requires comparison of at least 2 products from the same grade or region, with a focus on detecting flaws. Each tea has its own flavor profile, even if from the same producer, due to differences in harvest dates and field location. Experts rely on years of experience to distinguish the finest teas from average ones, directly impacting price. However, each drinker will have their own unique sensory experience. Quality depends on the size, shape, and color of the leaves, as well as their elevation, temperature, and subtle flavor changes from day to day. For example, leaves harvested on a Monday may taste noticeably different from those picked on a Wednesday, having absorbed different amounts of sunlight, water, and air, affecting sweetness and aroma. When producing the final blended tea, at least 5 raw materials are used. The blending process enhances flavor, complexity, and balance. Finally, the tea is packed into sacks, bags, or tea sachets, completing the product. It is stored in cold warehouses at 25°C year-round to preserve freshness. Tea can be stored this way for up to 2 years. Matcha is made by grinding green tea leaves into powder. Instead of steeping like regular tea, matcha is mixed directly into water. But it's not as simple as grinding any tea leaf. Most ground tea would be extremely bitter. High-quality matcha, however, is smooth and savory. So, how is this miracle created? The key lies in the leaves used. Only the top, nutrient-rich leaves are harvested for matcha. During peak season, picking these can take hours. Before harvesting in spring, tea plants are shaded for 3 to 4 weeks. Farmers use mesh covers to block sunlight, not to protect pickers, but to shield the leaves themselves. Too much sun increases bitterness. Shade preserves flavor and intensifies the bright green color. Harvesting matcha leaves is delicate work. Leaves must be picked at the stem to keep them intact. For matcha, only the top 3 to 5 leaves are chosen for their sweetness and nutrients. This harvest is done entirely by hand to ensure top quality. Once picked, tea leaves begin to oxidize, potentially turning into black tea. To preserve their vegetal flavor, they're steamed to deactivate oxidizing enzymes. The steamed leaves retain about 75% moisture and must be dried slowly to avoid roasting. They are gently dried through conveyor belts, rollers, and dryers. At this point, the dried leaves are called araka, unfinished tea that can become any type. For matcha, the stems and veins are removed, producing tencha, a stemless shaded tea leaf. The stems dull umami and sweetness, so removing them maximizes flavor. Stems also give matcha a yellowish tone, which is why lower quality matcha looks dull. To separate leaves from stems, air is blown underneath them. Lighter leaves float higher and are collected in nets. This step is repeated twice more to remove all stems. What remains is tencha, just one step away from becoming matcha. Tencha leaves are placed into large stone mills and ground into fine powder. The granite stones are handcrafted and rotate only counterclockwise. This traditional method preserves nutrients and yields ultra-fine powder. It takes 1 hour to grind just 50 grams of matcha. The result is vibrant, smooth, umami-rich powder packed with caffeine and L-theanine, delivering calm alertness throughout the day. Though slow, stone grinding is still the best method. Contact with metal changes the taste, and high-speed grinding creates heat that slightly roasts the powder. Modern machines use metal drums and grinding balls, producing faster and cheaper matcha, but the powder is less fine, and heat compromises quality. That's why stone mills are preferred for premium matcha. Matcha is rich in antioxidants like catechins, EGCG, L-theanine, and vitamin C, B1, B2, B3, AE, plus minerals like calcium, potassium, iron, and zinc, supporting immunity and overall health. Chlorophyll, abundant due to shading, gives matcha its green hue and supports liver detoxification. Shading boosts caffeine production, with premium matcha containing 34 milliliters of caffeine per gram. A typical 2-4G serving may have more caffeine than coffee. However, L-theanine, a rare amino acid found in tea plants, Alexusa, and a North American European Boletus mushroom, prevents jitters, promoting alert relaxation and reducing stress. In 2022, the global matcha market was valued at $3.3 billion and is projected to surpass $5.5 billion by 2027. Over the past decade, Japan's matcha exports have doubled and quadrupled compared to 30 years ago. The green tea and matcha industries not only bring economic value, but also promote health and culture. Modern technology reduces costs, speeds up processing, and enables 3 harvests per year, making matcha increasingly popular, especially in premium and organic products. Whether you're a passionate green tea lover, drawn to the smooth richness of matcha, or just curious about the journey from plantation to teacup, the world of green tea always has something to captivate you. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories about agriculture and food. Thanks for joining us, and see you on the next journey.